Hey YouTube, it's Radio here, and today I'm going to be talking about my Burning Abyss deck profile. Now, I do want to say this isn't my for sure definitive deck profile that when it comes out, this is what I'm going to be making. This is more so of a rough draft, just kind of playing off some ideas, and obviously I haven't play tested it yet, and I just kind of wanted to build it and have an idea of what I'd be trying to go for. So if you're unfamiliar with the Burning Abyss archetype that is coming out in the Duelist Alliance, so far there are 3 main deck monsters, 1 trap card, and 1 exceed monster. Now obviously this deck isn't going to be too phenomenal until future support comes out, or potentially even if they release more support in the Duelist Alliance. But with 4 cards to work with, you can't be doing too much. However, I still think this deck will be fun to play with until more support is released. So I'm going to go over the monsters. With the 3 main deck monsters, they all share 2 effects, and then all have their own individual effect that involves being sent to the graveyard. So first of all, if you control a monster that's not a Burning Abyss monster, they all destroy themselves. And then also, if you control no spell or trap cards, you can special summon them from your hand. And then I'm going to go on to Sir, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. If he's sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Burning Abyss monster in your graveyard except for Sir and special summon it. And might I add that it just says if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can. So that means that it cannot miss timing for being discarded by cost or whatever. As long as it is sent to the graveyard, which is the most vague term ever, you will get its effect off. And that's how all these Burning Abyss monsters work. And I think it's pretty phenomenal that that's how they do. Moving on to Graf, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. Of course, he has the other 2 effects. He destroys himself without Burning Abyss monsters, and if you have no spell and traps, special summons himself from the hand. And then, but if he is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Burning Abyss monster from your deck, except for Graf. So that's really powerful as well. Having something to special summon Sir from the graveyard and Graf special summons from the deck. Those 2 monsters are quite amazing. And then moving on to Skarm, Malebranche of the Burning Abyss, shares the first 2 effects. But then during the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can add 1 level 3 Dark Fiend type monster from your deck to your hand except for Skarm. So you can add any of the Burning Abyss monsters, or better yet, you can add Tour Guide to your hand, which is pretty phenomenal, might I say. This deck extremely works well with Tour Guide. Obviously, they did that on purpose because it's the Burning Abyss and it's Tour Guide from the Underworld and all that. And I think it's amazing they did that. I like this idea quite a lot. But moving on with my monsters, I have 1 Dark Arm Dragon, and my idea behind this is you are going to be sending your monsters to the graveyard, but you're also going to be special summoning from the graveyard through Sir and Crane. So you have a bit of control with how many darks are going to be in the graveyard, and I feel like getting Dark Armed is not that impossible. But then moving on to our special summoning units, we have 3 Crane. And this is cool, although the Malebranche do destroy themselves if there is a monster that's not a Burning Abyss. Crane negates its target's effects, so the Burning Abyss monsters won't destroy themselves. And kind of same thing for Tour Guide. Tour Guide summons from the deck though, but Tour Guide also negates its effects. So these are just great ways to go into rank 3 monsters. And you can do it super speedy and super fast, and still do a lot more, because you can even go into something detach, and when that detached material is sent to the graveyard, you'll get its effect. So it's going to be an incredible archetype. I think when when more support comes out. For now, I have 3 Necro Gardenas, and they're kind of in here just because there isn't enough support right now. But you send a lot of things to the graveyard, and I figured if you send a Necro Gardena, it wouldn't be that bad to block an attack, because as of now, they're not too powerful. So, I don't know, blocking an attack would be useful, I assume. That's it for the monsters. Moving on to spells, I have 1 Allure of Darkness. They're all dark monsters other than Crane. So, you know, why not? And then I'm using Dark World cards. I haven't seen anyone else doing this yet, but starting with Dark World dealings, each player draws a card and then each player discards a card. You can discard your Burning Abyss monsters and their effects will go off. So I see no reason as to why not to run this card. I think it'll have great synergy with the deck. And again, the same thing for Gates of the Dark World. All your monsters are Fiend other than your Exceed monster. I believe, yeah, he's a warrior. Yeah. But anyway, all your monsters are Fiends, so they're going to get the 300 attack and defense boost, which is cool. But other than that, once per turn, you can banish a Fiend from your graveyard, discard a Fiend, and then draw a card. So at the cost of banishing one of your Fiends, you can discard one of your Burning Abyss monsters from your deck, from your hand. I'm sorry, and then you get to draw a card. So it's more draw power, and you're getting effects off at the same time for both of them. So I think it'll be a good engine for it. Like I said, I haven't playtested yet, but I don't see why it wouldn't be. And then 2 MSTs, and then that's, you know, just kind of wanted to fit a third one in here, but I was kind of tight on trying to figure out what I wanted. But anyway, then we have 2 Rank Up Magic Astral Force, and if you don't know what this does, you target and exceed you control with the highest rank, which all of yours are going to be 3, so it doesn't matter. And then you special summon from your extra deck 1 monster with the same type and attribute as that monster, but 2 ranks higher, which is pretty phenomenal because Dante is a rank 3 light warrior monster, and Pleiades is a rank 5 light warrior monster. So if first turn, which there's all kinds of ways in this deck to go into a first turn Dante, super easy. If you get Tour Guide, it's done. If you open up 2 different Burning Abyss monsters, note that it can't be the same because you can only use their effects once per turn. So if you special summon a graph and then special summon, then you can't special summon another graph. But if you open up 2 different ones, then you can special summon. If you open up like a Crane and a Foolish Burial or any of your discard outlets like Dark World Dealings or anything, then you get to then you can go use it with Crane. So there's quite a few ways to do this first turn, and then so you get a Dante out, and then you play the Rank Up Astral Force, and you get a first turn Pleiades with 3 materials, and I would imagine that would be pretty strong. So that's why I included this in here. And I almost didn't, but then once I realized you can do Pleiades, I mean, he's just such a powerful card. I don't see why you wouldn't do that. 1 Soul Charge. I was kind of thinking about maybe doing more. Again, I'm kind of not too sure about my space right now. But I mean, all you're doing is send his monsters to the graveyard, so you can just spam them right back. And then we got 1 Foolish Burial. This is really good to send any of your Burning Abyss monsters to the graveyard, and they're so activating their effects. And then that's it for spells. On the traps, we have 1 The Traveler and the Burning Abyss, and this card is kind of cool. I only threw 1 in there because it seems kind of iffy, mainly because of their effect that when they're destroyed, or no, if there's another monster that's not a Burning Abyss monster, they destroy themselves. So it would just be a bad card if you're already set up, and then then you couldn't use it if you had like other monsters like Mech-Quipped or the Pleiades or something on the field. But but doing it like one monster at a time and stuff like that, you can very control getting around that effect. So, but what this card does is you target any number of Burning Abyss monsters in your graveyard that were sent there this turn and special summon them in defense position. So it's also a really good, like, let's say your opponent just wiped your board and then they're going for an attack, just like OTK you or whatever, you can be like, nope, and bring them all right back. And so that's pretty cool. And then for generic stuff, we have a bottomless, we have 2 breakthrough skill, 1 compulse, and then 2 Phoenix Wind Blast. And this actually does work as an additional discard outlet. So you can bounce one of your opponent's monsters to the top of the deck, and you get, if you discard a Burning Abyss monster, you get its effect. So I'm thinking I have too much discard going on, so I might take out the Phoenix Wind Blast. But anyway, and then 1 Torrential. And then moving on to the extra deck, we got 3 Dante, because he's super easy to summon in this deck, and he's pretty good. Once per turn, you can detach an Exceed material, choose a number from 1 to 3, then send that many cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard. Till the end of this turn, he gains 500 attack for each card sent to the graveyard this way. So he can boost himself up to 2,500, and then if he attacks, he's changed to defense position at the end of the battle step, or battle phase, I mean. And then if he's sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Burning Abyss monster card in your graveyard, accept this card, and add it to your hand. So, he's pretty cool. I was actually a little disappointed in him, because I first looked at the 3 Burning Abyss monsters, the Malabranch, and they are amazing. They have just, I think they're a phenomenal set of main deck cards. But Dante is kind of like all he can really do is boost himself to 2,500. So that's not that great. There's a lot of stuff that can run over 2,500, and other than that, just use effects to blow them up or something. So I don't know. I'm hoping more cards, better exceeds or something, or synchro. They could even do synchros if they released a tuner, I guess. But I'm hoping something becomes better in this archetype, because it is so close to being amazing. It just, I mean, it doesn't even have anything out really. 5 cards is nothing, and it's already looking really good. But they need a main deck monster that when it's sent to the graveyard you get to pop a card or something. That would be pretty phenomenal. But anyway, moving on, we got 3 Pleiades, and again, this is a very rough draft. And my idea behind that was he's very easy to summon, and the rank up card is recyclable. You can skip your draw phase to add it back to your hand. So having 3 of him is plausible, I guess. I'll probably cut it down to 2 whenever I actually really make it. But also, you can't really do too much. You have rank 3s to go into. So there's a lot of doubles here. I got 2 Ghost Trick Alucard, 2 Levier, the Sea Dragon, 2 Mech-Quipped Engineer, one of my favorite exceeds of all time, and then 2 Acid Golems. And my idea, like, I almost didn't throw 2 in him, but again, like I said, I had space. But I feel like this deck might need a beat stick unless it gets some better support. So threw that in there, and then 1 Zen mains. And I don't even like Zen mains anymore. I feel like almost every deck except for Fire Kings can get around Zen mains. So, and then in my side deck area here, it's not really a side deck. It's more of cards that have potential use in this deck and that other people are talking about or something like that that maybe I didn't choose. First of all, Creature Swap. Creature Swap could be super dirty in this deck because since the Burning Abyss monsters blow themselves up if there's another monster on the field that's not Burning Abyss, you can creature swap, grab one of your opponent's monsters, and then give them one of the Burning Abyss monsters, and he'll just blow up and die, and then you can actually get his effect. So they'll just be down one monster, you'll be up one monster, and you get an effect going off. So it could potentially be a really good play. I just, again, didn't find room. And again, most people aren't playing these Dark World cards, so that is a little different. Inferno Reckless Summon, all you're doing is special summoning monsters, and all of your monsters are under 1500 except for Sir. He is 1600. So the other 16 of your monsters all could, oh my bad, in Dark Arm Dragon. So 15 monsters could be Inferno Reckless targets, which could be awesome. I don't know. My problem with that is I was thinking, like, well, what if I Tour Guide and use Tour Guide's effect to special summon something, and then Inferno Reckless it wouldn't work, because then they'd just blow themselves up. I don't know. And then over to Hauser Gate, and this card, you target 2 monsters you control with the same type, with 1,000 or less attack, which is, again, a lot of these. I'm pretty sure, yeah, again, the same thing. Everything except for Sir and Dark Arm Dragon are under 1,000, so you could use them both on with Hauser. And then, so what you would do is you take the 2 level 3 monsters, and they become 2 level 6 monsters, and then you could go into Constellar Ptolemaion 7, and so that would be cool, but I just don't think that would be as cool as going into a Pleiades with 3 Exceed materials. So that's why I didn't add that. I think it's a kind of a cool idea. It definitely could work in this deck, but there are stronger moves. Dragdown of the Grave, again, fitting with the Dark World stuff. Just, you know, make sure you have nothing but Burning Abyss monsters in your hand, and they'll have to choose one of those, and you'll get its effect off. And then you get to see their hand, and then that's also why I have here Mind Crush, because it really would not be bad in this deck at all, because even if you didn't use Dragdown to know what they have, if you discard 1 card from your hand, and you know you're making sure it's gonna be something that's good, one of your Burning Abyss monsters, you're still gonna get its effect off. But I would definitely, if I were to run Dragdown, I would definitely run Mind Crash. It's just a great combo. And then for some discard outlets of other ways you can have powerful cards to stop things and still be getting effects off, we have Divine Wrath, one of the most powerful trap cards in the game, and then Raigeki Break then, and that's a really good card. It hasn't seen use in a little while, but it you discard a card, destroy a monster, so or destroy a card, but and then also Curry Bandit, and a lot of people that I've been talking about this has said Curry Bandit would be good, but my problem with this is I don't think I really want a random mill during my end phase in this deck, because if I'm discarding monsters that special summon things, I'm just going to have a random Burning Abyss monster on the field. And I don't know, 5 is a lot. You can get 2 of the same monster with 5 pretty easily. And then so you'd be missing out on one of their effects. And I just feel like you can't afford to try to set up in the end phase in this deck. You got to try to do it on your turn. But that's it for the other cards that I think would be good in here and that I've heard about and whatnot. So please let me know what you think about this deck profile and this archetype in general, if you're excited about it and if you're going to be playing it. If you're going to be playing it a different way, then I might try. If you have some other cool ideas I haven't thought about, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, remember to please like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Rarity Ho, and peace out.